I'm doing the word practice test. The first instruction is to open the file called declaration, and it's going to have a docx file extension on the end. So let's go to our file tab here and go to computer, go to desktop, and go to CSC 110 and the word practice test folder, and there's declaration, and we'll open that up. And the first thing I want to do is save it with last name, first name, and then declaration. So we'll do file, save as, and I want to go to the current folder. And I've already got a file out there. I'm just going to write on top of it and click on OK. Change the margins to 1 inch on all 4 sides. Now, the margins, if you go to the page layout tab here and choose margins, it applies to the entire document. And normal will give you 1 inch on all 4 sides. Okay. For the entire document, change the line space. Now I've got to do a Control A to select the whole document. And I want to set the line spacing to single space. I can do a Control 1, or I can go here and I can do one. Actually, I'm going to do 1.15, even though the instructions say 1. Just a little bit easier to read. For the entire document, set space after each paragraph to 6 points. Now, that's going to be on page layout here, and space after should be 6. For the entire document, set the alignment to justified. Here's our alignment. You do Control J as well. The last 6 paragraphs of the document, beginning with when in the course. Let's go to the end here. And when in the course, and we will select all of that and do a Control X and do a Control Home because I need to move these to the top of the document. And I want that just after, let me see, just below the line that begins the unanimous declaration. So right here, and when we do a paste, you could also do Control V. Word government and governments has been misspelled throughout the document, so let's do a Control H, which is the shortcut for the find and replace command up here. And what I want to find is G-O-V-M-E-N-T. I want to replace it with G-O-V-E-R-N-M-E-N-T, and I want to do replace all. And there's 9 of them, and we'll close that. Add your name to the right part of the header. Let's go up here and double click on the header, and there's a right tab there that's kind of hard to see if I just drag it over a little bit. There you can see it. So if I tab twice, it'll take me over to the right edge there, and then we want to put our name there. Now we want to go to the footer. Here's the fast way to go to the footer. And on the left part, I want 1776 by Thomas Jefferson. And in the center, I want page numbers. Page numbers are up here, and we'll do current position, and we'll just do plain number like we always do. And there's my page number. I'm on number 11. Make the first paragraph of the document in Congress, July 4th. So I got to double click, either close this or double click in the body. Either one works. And I want to make this in Congress. I want that to be bold. I could also do a Control B. Make the second paragraph italics. Let's select second paragraph here by moving the mouse over into the margin, getting that white arrow. And I want to make that italics. Add a page to the border to the document, choose the shadow style, and set the size of the line to 2.25. So that's on the Design tab, I believe. And page border is way over here on the right side. Let's select page border. And we want a shadow, and we want the line to be 2.25, 2 1/4, and click on OK. Make the 3 paragraphs, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, a bulleted list. So here are the 3, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the bulleted list is on the home tab right here. And I want to change them to diamonds. So to change the font, you go to change the bullet rather. You go to the bullets item here, go to define new bullet, and go to symbol. and we should get a list of fonts, and on the symbol font there is the diamond character right there. Click on OK, click on OK, and now we've got diamonds instead of circles. Add a black border below the text, the unanimous declaration. So here, that's this line right here, and I want a black border underneath it. So here's my borders button, and I want a bottom border, and there we go. Now I want to insert a picture of Thomas Jefferson in the document immediately to the left of the paragraph that begins with that to secure these rights. Okay, so I'm going to do a Control F and look for that to secure, and I found it. There's only one, so this is where it is. I want to be to the left of the letter T, and I want to insert the picture of Thomas Jefferson. So let's go to Insert and Pictures, and I want to go to my desktop. I want to go to the CSC110 folder, and I want to go to the word practice test, and there should be a Thomas Jefferson picture in there, and I'm going to insert it. Set the text wrapping property of the picture to tight. So if I click here, and that's square tight. Okay. Set the height of the picture to 1 inch and the width to 1.09. Now I think if I set this to 1, it will probably automatically go to 1.09, and it does. Okay, that takes care of the first page of instructions for the practice test. Now we're going to go to the second page. Add a new paragraph at the bottom of the document. So I'm going to do Control End to go to the end of the document and hit Enter to create a new paragraph. And enter the 3 lines of text below. Put a tab character to the left of each person's name and put a tab character immediately to the left of the state name. So I'm going to do tab Thomas Jefferson, tab Virginia, tab John Adams, tab Massachusetts, and Benjamin Franklin, and Pennsylvania. Okay, so I've entered that data correctly, and for these 3 lines I want a left tab stop at the 1 inch mark. That will catch the first name here, and a right tab stop at the 5.5 inch mark. So I need to select these 3 lines first, and I've got a left tab already is the default, so if I click any place on my bottom of my ruler here, I should get a left tab. And then I need to cycle twice through my list of tab stops here and go to the 5.5 inch mark, and that's where the other one is going to appear. And then for these 3 lines, add a dot leader to the right tab stop. So let's go to our paragraph group, Home tab, paragraph group, dialog box launcher, and tabs are down here, and I want the 5.5 inch tab stop to have a dot leader coming in, and click on OK, and that takes care of that. Now we're going to do table. I want to add an empty paragraph at the bottom of the document and create the following table. Well, it's the same text here, so I'm just going to copy this, do a Control C, and then I'll leave a blank line here just to make it a bit easier. And then I'm going to do a Control V and paste that in. And that does have and one more line of text above it. Signer, tab, state. Okay. So now I'm going to select these, and I want to convert them into a table. So that's on the Insert tab, Table, and convert text to table. And it's going to be 3 columns. That's okay. I'll click on OK. And because this stuff was tabbed over once, there's going to be an empty column over here on the left. I'm going to right-click on that and choose Delete Columns. And now I've got 2 columns. And I want the font color for all the text in the table to be red from the standard color. So select the entire table by clicking on that little table selector right there. Go to your Home tab and choose red as the font color. And actually, if you want to make sure, there it is down there on the standard colors list. Set the width of column 1 to 2 and column 2 to 1.5. So let's just select column 1 here. And that's going to be layout, and I want the width to be 2. And I want the width of this one to be 1.5. Whoops, went too far. There we go. Shade the first row using the color Aqua Accent 5 Lighter 60%. So let's go to, let me me see. Shading, and is this aqua right here? Aqua, accent 5, lighter 60%. I'll bet it's this one. Okay. Center the table, so it's midway between the margins. So I have to select the table right here. Then you can do a Control E for center, or you can go here and center the entire table. Now we're on shapes. Below the table, insert a horizontal scroll shape. So let's go to Insert, and let's go to Shapes here, and I want a horizontal scroll. It looks like that one might be called horizontal scroll. There we go. Set its width to 4.7 and its height to 1.2. So I'm just going to click here, and it'll put a default scroll in, and then I go up here and I can change the height to 1.2, and I can change the width to 4.7. Okay. Add the following text to the shape: the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America. And I don't know if I can just start typing. Yes, I can. The Declaration of Independence of the United States of America. Now I'm on number 31. Set the font to the Old English text. So let's select the whole. So we got a dotted line here. Now I'm going to click on it to get a solid line. And now if I change the font, everything will change. So I want to go to Old English. And that happens to be on my recently used fonts here. So I can click on that. And now we're on 32. Set the font size to 20 points. Right now it's 11. Change it to 20. Okay. Number 33, set the alignment for the text to centered, and it looks like that's already centered. Add a shadow to the shape. Choose outer, offset, diagonal, bottom, right. So it's going to be a drawing tool, and it's going to be a text effect. Shadow, and the one I want is outer, which would be this group here. Offset, diagonal, bottom, right, which I'm thinking is probably the first one here. Yes. Okay, let's double click down here below that shape, and that'll put in a few empty paragraphs for us there. You can see the edges of my paragraph marks. And now we're on WordArt. Add a new paragraph to the end of the document. The text of the paragraph should be your first and last name. Okay, so I'm going to type in my first and last name. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to go to Insert WordArt. And it says using fill blue accent 1 metal bevel fill, and that one may not be here anymore. Let me see. Blue fill aqua. That one does not appear to be here. I'm not sure what happened to that. So we'll pick one. And it does have a reflection. It is blue, but it does not have a metal bevel. And make it any size you want to, as long as it doesn't cover anything else. That size is fine. And now we're going to do references. Move to the end of the document, body, which would be after our sacred honor, and create a new citation. So that's going to be on the References tab. And we're going to go to Insert Citation, and this is going to be a new source, and it's going to be type book, which is already there, because that's the last thing I use this for. Use your name for the author, and usually do last name, comma, first name. If you look at the example down here. And for the title, use Intro to Computers. And I guess that's all we're doing there. Normally you put a little more information probably. Click on OK. Move to the end of the document. We can do a Control End. And I'm going to hit the Enter key once or twice here and hope that my WordArt doesn't move down, but it does. So I'm going to have to click on my WordArt and drag it back up and make sure it gets anchored to a higher paragraph. Now it's anchored to this paragraph. Okay. And moving on the document, insert a bibliography. That is also here, bibliography, and the type that I want is works cited, which is this one. And there's my bibliography, and that's the end of the practice test.